effect in the B fund. For expenses, our net decrease in revenues in the A fund is $468,000 due to those factors, those four factors below. On the expense side, we had a part-timer go to full-time to absorb 2 positions. So on that particular line, you'll see that that salary is doubled. That's the only case in the town where we have any change in any of the employment scene.
Question.
Yeah.
You have a part-timer that was a full-time, that would replace 2 part-timers.
That's 2 part-time jobs, what she was doing.
All right, so why would it be an increase? Because the 2 part-timers had to be a lot more money than just what you had for 1 part-timer.
Excellent question, but we have a superhero who was very good, and she was doing both part-time jobs, but it was absolutely killing her. It's not doable by one person.
You know why? Yeah.
Full-time accounts payable, full-time payroll tax, and that sort of thing. There just was no way. Yeah.
Same person, but not getting 2 part-time pay.
Well,
She was getting 1 part-time.
we were getting to the point where she couldn't do the job part-time.
It's just the way I heard it, 2 parts replaced.
Yeah, you're right, that was not.
We've been fortunate not to pay the other part-timer, but we've been killing the 1 part-timer.
Oh, no, I understand.
Yeah.
No, it's just that it was the dollars I was questioning, because if it was 2 part-timers, it would be more money.
To everybody else.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Attorney fees, mostly based on what we're doing here in town and the village with again, our evaluations, our assessments, tax certs. Our budget in 2010 was $27,000. It's coming in at $105,000. It's a little unusual for that fund because it's usually more distributed. But again, we're doing an awful lot of work on behalf of this revaluation, the assessments, and assessment complaints.
Well, we had 2 lawsuits, Owens and ADC. That's where that would show up.
Yeah, that's in there.
The tax attorney search, that's on the next one done.
Correct.
Okay.
Our hospitalization, I don't think was affected in one of the funds, but the other 3 funds were too low in that, so we have to bump that up. That's the 4th item there, 250 to 300. So our expense increase in that fund is $222,000. When you have a decrease of $468 in revenues, an increase in expense of $260, $223. You're looking at almost a $700,000 change in the A fund. Again, largely due to this.
Can I ask a question? Where is, you're talking revenues above. Where did you have the mortgage tax?
Mortgage taxes in the A fund.
That's what I'm talking about, A fund.
Yeah, there's no change in that. We're trending right where we should be in the mortgage tax. Very low, but that's what we budgeted.
Well,
so it's
my question is, though, is it going to happen that way next year? In other words, right currently, we've got 1 check.
Correct.
We've got another check in the 4th quarter of this year. We don't know what that's going to be.
Correct.
And so we don't know if we're trending where we're supposed to go.
We don't. With the first half of the year, it's more than what we budgeted, but it's not a landslide more than what we budgeted. It could be less, and so I think we're going to probably fall right in the ballpark of where we budgeted it.
Well, I read in the newspaper that the sales in Orange County were down 44% in July, and down 23% or something in August. So, as I'm looking to next year, no, this is mortgage tax. Mortgage tax. So we're going to need to really look at this one very carefully.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, right now we're trending over where we budgeted, but I didn't change that number.
That was March. See, that was a long time ago.
Right.
Okay, we're together.
DA fund, revenue changes there, decrease. We had appropriated $400,000 of fund balance that we had on hand last year. We have 276 available, and today I have appropriated 175,000. Again, that will take some looking at. We've kept the contingency fund the same way. The DA fund has tended to run fairly well. There may be some room to wiggle there and change those numbers, but for right now, on the conservative side, we're just reserving, looking at what we want to do. And again, on equipment is in that category as well. We're purchasing a vehicle this year, paying for half this year, half next year. We have 105 on hand this year, and am I correct? The cost of that vehicle is $95. Is that what it was?
104 about?
Yes.
100. Oh, okay. Well, we have 105. But we plugged 25 for next year with no new equipment other than something small, and that's significant, so we've cut back on that. The highway capital equipment, the hospitalization there is the same thing. That actually went down. We're not charging enough into the DB fund. We were overcharging the DA fund slightly, so we've adjusted that so we can adjust the rate so that the water finds its mark. It's not a lot. The net increase to the DA fund is $132,000. On page 2, we get to the town resident funds, the D and the DB. Changes in the revenue there. Planning board fees, for some reason, we budgeted $25,000. We really have almost nothing in the door at this point, and Neil was not available today, so I
Well,
don't.
it's because we don't have any...
Not much going.
No,
So,
right.
I mean, I'm assuming that we're at a half-a-year trend of about 1,300, 2,500, so we'll take a decrease there. Parkland fees, $122,900. Well, we're done with that, so that's a line we have to.
I think we need to check on that. I think there's some due.
Yeah.
It could be.
We're going to get some in 2011.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so we can, that number we can fill in with something.
Yep.
And grants, obviously, are down. Federal, state grants, whatever, we get some here and there, whatever we can grant. Mostly on the police side, where they're small, they're DWI that they get every year, they're still getting those. That's okay, but some of the other grants, non-matching grants just aren't available. So about $10,000 decrease there. So a revenue decrease in B of about $156,000. And on the expense side, we had to have a decrease in the budget for attorney because a lot of the work is being done more on, again, the tax returns. So the fund gets a little relief there this year, which they don't usually get. Police wages, up from $949 to $1,056, and that reflects 09 and 010 since the PPA contract. So it's high because of that. So, and I have not changed the contingency there where we have $250,000, and that's where I usually carry the increases. We can adjust that downward if we need to. We'll take a look at that. Police car, we have the expense side in at $35,000. I don't have anything in their budget for a grant to cover it, or however we think we may or may not handle that. So that's a discussion item to see how we want to handle it, if we want to handle it. From $19,000 to $34,000, that's exactly where we're trending with the cars. So that's a $15,000 increase.
Right on.
Line looking out.
Yeah, right now there's a transition where she's working a little as a contractor to get through a little bit, and then that's going to be eliminated. So by 2011, there should not be any payment.
Hospitalization, again, I bumped that up a little bit because that was trending a little bit behind there, and that's $25,000 there. Workers' comp, nicely, is down $7,000, and we have really struggled with workers' comp over the last 4 or 5 years, and all the workers' comps are really pretty well in line on wood for this year. We don't know what happens year by year, and things change, so I'm very pleased with that. And
But, in that regard, had we not gone to a new provider 2 years ago, this could be double that number.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We bit the bullet. Okay.
Our last item on the expense here are bond anticipation notes, our procedure to pay cash and not borrow, unless we're absolutely forced to. Here, we're paying down even more advances, so we continue to decrease. In the B fund next year, and the DB fund, the last band there will be paid for, and that money will be able to fall. That's good money for the taxpayers.
And so there's $41,000 that we're not taxing the people and giving to the bank as interest.
Correct.
By not borrowing any money
By not
since
borrowing.
2006.
Absolutely.
Net changes there to be $245,000 based on those the revenue decrease matched against the increase, and
now,
that
what
does
about,
not look great.
there's one on retirement too. Where does retirement come in on retirement expense?
Retirement's trending fine at the moment.
No, you're going to have an increase.
Well, yes, we are. I'm providing for that, but we were budgeted over, so that should protect protect
Okay.
us. So,
So we have
for
one
this
more?
coming year,
We have one more person there.
say that again,
The chief is going to be, start paying his retirement in 2011.
well, then I need to change